All right, let's get started. This video, we're going to show you how to format and write your book in Microsoft Word. This is going to be very technical. This video, you may have to pause it at different times because I'm going to be showing you some specific things on how to do some specific formatting. We're going to cover everything from how do you, what order should you put your pages, how do you write the headers and the footers, how do you put your page numbers, how do you make certain numbers on the left and the right, how do you adjust your columns and your margins. So this is going to be very technical, and then we're going to talk about some general stuff as well. So make sure that you have to pause it. If you have to rewind, and I may talk slow during certain parts, okay, and I may repeat myself for certain parts. Okay, so let's overall get to going. So this is using Microsoft Word. This version is 2011. And so that means even if you have an older version or a newer version, this stuff should still work. Some of the things may look slightly different, but this should still work and be really good, okay? So first and foremost, when we look at this book, the first thing you want to go to is where it says format. You want to go format right at the top. You want to go to document because you're formatting the entire document. And you want to look at your page setup. And this is where you determine how big your book is going to be. Mine is 5x5 by 8x5. All right. So if whatever size you're trying to look, you can change that here. You would just change where it says like the paper size. Okay. You will come in here, or you can. It says manage custom sizes, and you can just type in 5x5 by 8x5. That's how you do that. Okay. All right. Then it's going to adjust the entire book for that. Also, this also shows the margins for the entire page as well. So right now it says this section. You want to, whatever you do, I pretty much do it for the entire document. Okay, I don't just do it for sections. I do it for the whole document. So another way that you can find this, again, you can go to format at the top. Another way I like to do it is using this ribbon up here. We're about to do the same thing. I'm just showing you a second way to get there. You go to layout and it says margin right here. Click on margin. Custom margin, and this tells me here are the margin settings how you can adjust it. Now you notice right here it has two pages, a left and a right. Typically that preview is just for you it may just be this one page like that. You got to put mirror margins. Click on mirror. Now it's going to give you two pages. So now you can adjust the interior and the outside. The gutter right here, this is the middle, that's spine, right? That's the page that people write in the middle of your book. That's called the gutter. So the higher this number, the bigger the gutter, the more white space that will be in there, okay? Now, ideally, some people do 0.75 all the way down. That's what I did. The problem that I didn't like about that, it gave me a bunch of white space on the outside of my book. So on the left side, it was a bunch of white space. On the right side, it was too much white space. So I made an adjustment. On my outside, I made mine 0.6. For me, I just like that better, 0.6. If you see the higher number you go, that means the more white space you'll see. So if you do 0.2, you see those words are going almost to the edge of the page. You don't want it too far to the edge because when they cut your book to print it, you don't want them to cut the words off. So a good number, you want to at least be at 0.5. Don't do anything lower than 0.5. Me personally, I like 0.5, 0.6, but I think I use 0.6 for this one. Okay. And then on the inside, you can adjust the inside as well if you like. And then you can go to page setup if you need to. Make sure you look at this. When it says apply to this section, no, you want to apply this to the whole document because that's going to affect everything. Or you can do this point forward or just do that section. It's up to you. But typically, I just do the whole document, right? That way I only have to keep going back and forth. All right, so that's the first things that you do is to set that up. The second thing, now that you've done that, now let's begin to organize your pages, right? So the page numbers and the titles are typically going to be the last thing I do. All right, now I'm going to tell you a trick. I don't tell most people this, but I start writing my book in Google Documents because it's easier for me to write those pages there in Google Docs. So what does that look like? So that means I will come to Google Docs. Let me see. Let me see if I have a Google document that's already that I can show you all. All right, here's an example. So let's say you go to the drive. So I'll go to my drive and let's say a book like, all right, so then each document here will be a chapter and it'll be in order. In fact, I'm going to show you this exact book. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here it is right here. Okay, so I think this is it. Right. So here's how I write the books. I'll write them in folders. I'll order it in numbers. So that way, all right, so I start out with, here's my title page, how to use this book. Think Like an Immigrant, Chapter 1 is Why Shut Up and Hustle. Chapter 2 is Soundtrack of Life. And so what I'll do is I'll write the chapter here. And so once I got the chapter here, I copy it and then I'll paste them on my Word document at the end, right? That's how I like to do it, because I just feel like when you have all of your folders in front of you like this, it's easier to navigate. It's just a much easier process to go from write it here in Google Docs and then at the end you do your formatting in Word. I would not start writing in Word because for me it's just too difficult. That's just for me. I would never get the book finished. All right, so now that you're transferring, so I will copy stuff here and bring it over here. So here's the order that you want to do. Here's your sequence. So your sequence is, so you want to start with your title page as your first page. Second page, you're going to be your copyright page. Third page, this might be a blank page with nothing on it at all. I like to put a promotional page here. The next page after that, this can also be a blank page. And let me show you why you may want to have a blank page before you put your table of contents. Now, this is kind of important. All right. So what you'll notice here is my numbers. In fact, I'm going to do this. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you to see. All right. I really want you to see this really good. So you'll notice my table of contents that's here. And I use this, this was actually a Microsoft Word. I forget where I found it, but if you just type up like your tables, charts, or type up table of contents, they'll give you that and you can just kind of copy and paste it. And then you just start typing in your table of contents. Okay. Now, once you have your table of contents, I did mine. You see, I got my Roman numerals here at the introduction. It's a V. That means this is the right page. And I like, for my right page, I don't like a whole bunch of white space here, but I want for you to see my numbers. I think the numbers of your table of contents should be on the right side of a page, not on the inside of a page. It should be on the outside of the margin. So so this is why you may want to have a blank page before then, so that way you can make sure that your table of contents falls on a page where it is going to be on the outside margin on the right side. That's just for me, because if not, if it's on a left-hand page and it's on the inside of the margin, what's going to happen is people may not see those numbers if it's too close to this gutter right here. So that's a little something to keep in mind. So now that you know you do your table of contents, and then you do your whatever, you can do your thank you page here. I put my thank you page at the end. And then you do your introduction. Now you notice your introduction here is at the top. Okay. Well, hold on. Let me make it easier for everyone to see. Okay. So we'll notice my introduction page. You'll notice here it says introduction at the top. Simply just by clicking header and you just type in whatever you want. I typed in introduction, and when you make those adjustments, it's going to adjust all of the header. Okay. And then you click close, boom. Now, this is what I want you to notice. You see it says section 2 and it says section 1. Because I made them into different sections, now the header, the whatever header I put in section 2 is not going to be a header in section 1 or section 3 or section 4. Okay, and I'll show you how to make those different sections. Okay, if you noticed, I want you to see this. So you see section 3 here. It says, are you sitting in a director's chair? And then next you got section 4. It says a different title. No, it still says, are you sitting in a director's chair? I'm sorry. I'll show you why I did that. But you see section 2, it says introduction. Introduction. Then section 3, it says, are you sitting in a director's chair? Okay. And if you were to keep going, if I scroll down, you see here on the bottom, it says section 5. It says, shut up and hustle. So those sections, those headers will change based on the sections you put them in. And I'm going to show you how you create a section right now. So what you do is you go to the bottom, you click on the page. So right here, you will click on, let's say this is my introduction section here. And you go to the bottom of that page, wherever you want your section to end. And then you click to home, you go to layout, you go to your layout. You go to break. This is a break. You want to add a break. Not a page break. You want to do a section break. Do a continuous break. Okay? A continuous break. That's what I like to do. Well, that's what I did in this situation. Boom. You click on continuous break. Automatically, this will now divide whatever is before this section break will all have this header. Whatever is after is now a different section, which is why you will see, like I said, in order to get that to click again, you got to click where the header, you got to click inside the header and footer. If you click inside of anywhere else, it won't pop up. So you got to click on the header and footer. See, it says section 2 here, and then here it says section 3 because I did a section break. Now, what's going to happen is, even though I have a title, whatever introduction, whatever you have up there, it will still be over here until you go back to header and footer. And this is going to say link to previous. A check mark will be there. You have to unclick that check mark, and then you'll see this will now give you, it will no longer be linked. Because before they're linked, so that means that whatever title is here is going to be the same title there. But when you unlink it, now it's going to allow you to put a new title in this new section. You have to do that every single time you do a section break. You're always going to unlink. Okay? I'll show you another example. In fact, here, let me show you an example at the end. Let me show you how to do it. So I'm going to go to the very end of the page, end of the book. And what we'll do is this. So remember, you click on the header footer. So right now, this is section 45. Let me scroll down so you can see this really good. Okay. In fact, you know what? I'll do it here because you can see up here really good. All right. So you see this says this is a thank you page, and then this is my promo page. So the way I'll do it is I'm going to title this. If you click in the header and we're going to call this the thank you section. All right. And then you put it in the middle. So now you got your thank you there, but you notice it's covered all of these. Why? Because this is all the same section. You see this section 44 doesn't have it. But let's say I only want that to be here, and I only want it to be in section 45. I don't want the title over here to be that. Then I got to create a new section. So the way that you do that is you come to the bottom here. You click on, remember, you go to layout. You go to margins. I'm sorry, not margins. You're going to go to break. Going to say continuous break. Boom. So you can't see it, but now it just separated the sections. So see, it says 45. Now this is section 46. Okay? But you see the thank you is still there. So what you do is you go back to the click on the button, header and footer. Remember I told you, link to previous. Remember that's there? You have to you unclick that. I'm sorry, hold on. You have to, boom, unclick that. And now that you unclicked it, you can say, now this is my, hold on. Okay, because it linked again. Hold on. You unlink it. Boop. Now that you unlinked it, you do promo page. Boom. Now you see, now this section 46 has a different title than section 45. So these are the thank you pages in 45. Now you just created a new section break, and now you got a new title up here. Now you got page 46. You see how that works? See how simple that was? Okay. And all I did again was, after I did that section break, remember, I do it one more time for you so you don't have to rewind. You go to the end of where the end of that section, and you do document editing. Then you go to page break. I did a continuous break. Click that. Boom. And then I had to click in the header and footer for the new page where I want the new header to start. And then you go to header and footer, and you click that button that says link to previous. You unlink it. And now these sections are unlinked. It means now the header and footer can be different. That's all you have to do. Just that simple. All right. Now, here's something else I want to show you that's very important. And that is the page numbers. How to number your book. So you'll see at my pages, you'll see I have, it's all my page numbers on the outside. You see? Right? So on the right-hand side, left-hand side, right-hand side, left-hand side. So they're changing. And you see these are Roman numerals. It's 8 pages. And then once my introduction officially starts right here, you'll see, once my introduction officially starts, it'll say page 8 because it's 8 pages in. Remember, you see, let me make it really easy for everyone to see. Okay. So look at this closely. Look at my screen. So on the bottom here, it says from Roman numeral 8. There's literally 8 pages. I had all Roman numerals. And then once my introduction started here, I started it, but I started on page 8. You don't want to put page 1 right here because it's not the first book. The person who's printing your book, they're going to count exactly the amount of pages. They're not going to account the first page when you put 1 at. They're going to count the literal number of pages. So because even though these are Roman numerals, there's 8 physical pages that are here that the printer is looking at. You got to start your intro at page 8. Here's how you do that. Okay. You come to, at the top here, we're going to go to the document in elements. Go to document elements. And here it says page number. Click on page number. Now, it says alignment. I put outside. You can either go inside, right, left corner. If you put it on inside, it'll be the inside. I like mine on the outside of the pages. Outside. And then it says show number on first page. Okay? Meaning, yes, I want to show numbers on the first page, but I started with my Roman numerals first. So all you do is you click on where I said format. Click on format. And you want to start at what page? I said start at page 8. If I would have did page 11, look at what happens. Hold on. I just messed that up. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. I just messed that up. So let's go back. I'm going to show you one more time. Okay. So we go to page number, format. And so if I was to change this and I went to, let's say, 5, there is no chapter number including. And so what you notice is this. This same page, this introduction page, now it's starting at 6. Remember, it was just 8. Now it's at 6. Why did it do that? Because I said start at 5. So it's gonna, whatever number you put, it's going to start at that very next number, because it's going to automatically assume that you have another page in front of it. So I put 8 because I counted, and there's 8 pages already here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My intro is where I want to start the numbers here. So, because I'm starting right here, and this is the 8th physical page, again, all I did was go down to my footer, double-clicked. You see it says page number right here. I clicked on page number. Go to format. And so I'm going to put 7 because therefore when it is going to show up as 8 right here. Since there are no character numbers, just click OK. Boom. And now you'll see that intro page right there is now page 8. That's how I did that. This is very important because if you try to submit this to your printers to print it, they're going to tell you is wrong if the number that you start, if the pages aren't accurate. Meaning, if my introduction, if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, and I decided to label this page 9, if I started my book off at 9, then these numbers are going to be off, and the printer is going to say something's wrong. So you got to literally count it, and wherever you start putting your numbers there, it has to be accurate to the physical amount of pages. Okay. So that's that. Other things that are important to know outside of, we talked about title pages. Those are the main things. Now, if you look here on the bottom, this is the footer. I pretty much just kept this footer the same. I didn't change my footer. I just kept my name here on the bottom on the left side, title on the book on the right side. And that's the same throughout the entire book. That never changes from page 1 all the way to the very last page of the book. It's going to have that. So that never changes. Now, you can make it change if you want to. You would just have to adjust the settings and your footer and your sections. But for me, I wanted that to be consistent. So they always know my author name. Always see the title of the book. And if they want, and the things that does change are the actual titles themselves. And I do that with the header. Showed you that already. Now, let's look at these pages. Some people might ask about how did I put the pictures in the book. Honestly, I just used the camera. I just drew on a sheet of paper, and I just took a picture of it with my camera. And, I then took that picture and put it on my computer and just dragged it onto the Microsoft Word file. It was really that simple. These are all original pictures of me drawing as well. So yeah, and at the end of the book, of course you want to, with your chapters, you can label them however you want to label them. This format's going to look a little off right now. But yeah, that's all the general stuff that you want to know. Oh, here's one other thing. This is very important as well. So if you notice my columns, you see how everything is in perfect alignment. You see these paragraphs are in perfect alignment. Okay. All right. You see this paragraph is in perfect alignment. Now, what you do is this. Typically, when you first start writing, in fact, we'll do it on this page because that way you can see it. Let's look at this one. How to use this tool. This is where you go to the home screen, and usually it's going to be aligned text to the left. So this is usually what your text is going to look like. Let's zoom in on that. So most of your text is usually going to look like this. It's going to be lined all the way to the right. To the left. And see, and now this is kind of uneven. So what you do is you just highlight literally the paragraph or the entire document for that matter. And instead of going to the middle, this is to the left, that's to the middle, this is to the right, you want to do this button that's all of it says justify text. Boom. And now it's going to make everything go to the right. Did you see that? I'll show you one more time. If it was to the left, it'll look like that. But once you highlight everything, you can use Control A and do your entire document. I'm using a Mac, by the way, and now it just automatically did that. So now everything looks kind of uniform. The problem is you're going to still get some of this space here. In order to eliminate that, you're going to have to literally just go in and change your wording around. But for me, I just didn't really care about the spacing. I did, but it was so much of it, I didn't have time. If you're writing in Microsoft Word, that won't be a problem. But again, I am writing in Google Documents, and I'm copying and pasting. So that's the gist of how you format your book. And that's all of the main stuff. And then when you save it, you go to Save As. And you'll save it as a document. But then here's the trick. You also want to save it as a PDF. Boom. Save it as a PDF, for example. And then we're going to do a test. And then it's going to save it just like that as a PDF. It's going to take its time and boop, bing, and now it's saved as a PDF. Because usually because here's what happens. If you try to share this document to somebody and it's in a Word document, whatever font you used, your font may not transfer over because that person may not have your font. And your book publisher may not have that same font. This is why you make it into a PDF. So that way it's now more of an image. And now your font will still be there no matter who you send it to, your font will remain the same. So you save it as a PDF and you're pretty good. That's really all to it. I hope this helped with building your book. I'm trying to think any other things because I want to make this really valuable for you. Just know your ISBN number. In fact, I'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, that's the deal for formatting your book. Got any questions about any of that? Hey, just watch this video again. I hope it made it simple for you to understand.